Pros know a thing or two about how to get the toughest messes clean. That's why they've long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab for their businesses. And now, that level of clean is available for your home at the Home Depot. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of pro-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs. So you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Did you know that yearly Medicaid renewals will start again soon? This means millions of people who were enrolled in Medicaid during the pandemic may no longer be eligible for coverage. If this may impact you, the good news is you have options. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help answer your questions so you can find an affordable health plan for you and your family. We want you to feel confident you're covered. Click to learn more. Policy exclusions and limitations apply. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Community Insurance Company.
Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of Film Study. This is Ken McKusick. We're here to continue our series of That One Play, and we're going to talk about one of certainly the notorious plays in Ravens history. It's not a pleasant one to talk about. And these aren't all, in the shared misery that is being a professional sports fan. We tend to go over a lot of these horrible moments as well. I've already had several among the early recordings. But joining me to do this is Ed Lupp. He's going to talk about the Billy Cundiff miss and kind of what that meant to him. And I'll let him explain that to you. Ed, how you doing?
Doing great, man. I like you introducing me as a villain. That's pretty cool.
So as we get older, we tend to play the villain role a little bit more. But there you go. So Ed, how can people talk football with you online?
Well, if they want to, they can reach out to me on Twitter. My name is Vengeance, VENGNCE. Besides that, talk combat sports, boxing, UFC, fun stuff like that.
All right, very good. I definitely met some good boxing people through football, so that's interesting. So, Ed, we're talking about this thing. Obviously, there's some setup we need to do in terms of the game. The Ravens had beaten the Texans to get to the AFC Championship game in a tight game at home. Put it away on Ed Reed's interception late, and then they went to Foxborough and were trailed at halftime, and that's always bad news because the Belichick/Brady, actually I think it's probably the Brady Patriots, had never lost a halftime lead at home in all their years.
Never is that
never. 2012 was the first time. So
okay.
So that was it was a never. They were 67-0 or something, but at that point they were probably whatever 59-0 or whatever. It would have been a season before. So however many games were. Anyway, the Ravens took the lead in the third quarter, 20-16. The Patriots came back early in the fourth quarter. Tom Brady did not have a particularly good game, but he snuck one in to go up 23-20. And the Ravens had a couple of chances to try and move the ball, and they got stopped. So they had in that fourth quarter, we'll talk about, they got the ball with 11:29 left, and they had a 1st and 10 at the Patriots 46, but there was an interception, and that sucked. But then Tom Brady threw the ball right back to Jimmy Smith again, who unfortunately intercepted it in the end zone. So the Ravens had to kind of start over. They drove to the New England 33, where on 4th and 6, Flacco's pass for Pitta was incomplete. So that was certainly unfortunate. And Patriots got the ball back. They fortunately engineered a 3-and-out of their own, on which Ed Reed, this is one of the real plays that I remember from this game. Ed Reed had a diving PD against Aaron Hernandez. There's a lot of suspicion at that point that Ed Reed was not going to come back for 2012. He picked up the ball, walked towards the sideline with it, and it looked like this is the last play of my career. I'm saving this football kind of thing. And I really thought that he might be retiring after that play. Watch the play. I'm like, oh my God, he's retiring. Look at that. Anyway, he took the ball to the sideline, and of course he did come back and play in 2012, and then again in 2013 when he was just scamming people out of money. If you understand his Hall of Fame speech and how he delivered that.
No.
But anyway, let's come back to the drive after that remarkable play by Reed. Ravens, get the ball, drive up the field, bunch of passes to Anquan Bolden. There was one of the things that's kind of interesting about this is Lee Evans actually got into the offense for the first time that year in this game. He had a passer rating. It might have been 0, but it's very close to 0 during the season. It kind of depends on what you call a target. But 4 of 27 balls thrown to him, he caught. No touchdowns rather, and 3 interceptions. So I believe that worked out to a passer rating of 0 throwing to Lee Evans for the year prior to this game. But in this game, he actually had some catches.
Well, then he also didn't have one, as it turns out.
True enough, for sure. In the game, he had 3. He caught 3 of 4 targets. I can't remember the one he missed for 39 yards, including a long of 20, and did participate in some of these significant plays for the Ravens to get them up the field and in scoring position. So we all know what happened on the Evans play. I guess we have to talk about that briefly, at least before we talk about the Cundiff miss and what that meant. Tell me from your perspective, what did you see from the Evans kind of non-catch?
I saw basically an NFL play on both sides. So there's nearly double coverage on that corner, that pylon that Evans is running towards, and the throw is on the money, like basically on his numbers, and he at least puts an arm on it, just doesn't secure it enough. And Sterling Moore, I recall from the Patriots, is the guy who batted it away with his right hand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did, and obviously very unfortunate. All kinds of things. I mean, he was close in terms of the necessary steps before the punch out happened. If he could have suddenly done some toe tapping, I don't know how they rule that, but you're supposed to be 2 steps, 3 steps, whatever. I don't know if you're allowed to make real quick steps yourselves to secure the football that way. But
this was prior to the Calvin Johnson rule.
The Calvin Johnson rule had to do with not, being able to secure the football even though it touches the ground. This would have been,
it was like 3 steps, the bounce, and all of that. So I think this would have been we'll just call it 2 or 3, 2.5.
Yeah, and if he could have tapped those feet, the point was, I think it probably would have been called a touchdown at that point without having him to go through a tackle or whatever in the end zone, and or even to have the risk of a strip if they're going to say, oh, that's 1, 2, 3, there you go. He would have been in good shape. But unfortunately, Moore made a good play. It was a great strip. I mean, it really was. But Evans had a chance to send the Ravens to the Super Bowl. It didn't happen, obviously, and that'll be for another show, I'm sure. But then, that wasn't quite the end of the drive there. The Flacco had one more chance. I believe that throw was on 2nd down. Is that correct?
I recall it being on 2nd. It didn't matter ultimately.
No, well, I mean, they had another chance. Is at the touchdown was the point that, on 2nd down was Sterling Moore getting a PD, and then on 3rd and 1, so there's still 22 seconds left. So they're at the 14-yard line. They're probably going to get another couple throws into the end zone. If they're certainly going to try, if they got a 1st down there, but there's an incomplete to Pitta, again, Sterling Moore with the PD on that play. That's not remembered too frequently. I don't think. It was in traffic, by the way. That was kind of a dangerous pass. And there was a quarterback hit on the play by Fletcher. Any memories from that before we get to the Cundiff walking on the field and doing his best?
The only thing I remember is that they did have a timeout. And anything inbounds would have actually had, okay, call timeout. We're going to take the extra shot.
Right. So they shouldn't have been rushed though after an incomplete pass, because it wasn't incomplete. There's 15 seconds left. So yes, you're right. If that inbounds, I'm trying to look back to when they used their timeouts. They called number 1 with 2:53 to go, another one with 58 seconds to go on that drive. So they did have one timeout left. So I think I've heard it said, and maybe it's not about this kick, that a timeout should have been called to give a kicker more time. It's like de-icing the wings of the kicker before he kicks.
Well, debatably, that's the old school Tom Brady tuck rule game where if you give him more time, we can just clear the snow.
Yeah.
You can't kick the snow back if you're the opposing team. That doesn't apply here. And
then the kick itself, what take us through your memories, how you reacted to that.
So the way that I saw it is that New England didn't really line up in any sort of, designed ultimate block situation. It didn't look anything suspicious. It looked pretty routine. The timing of the snap, kick, and hold looked to be 1.3 or 1.4 seconds, which is about right, about average. And Cundiff later even said he himself that he just missed it. Mm-hmm. Although he did feel that the timing may have been off, although that seemed to be more mental than physical. And it was a true miss. It wasn't like the hold was bad or the snap was, over the guy's head or anything. It's a kick he's made a million times, didn't make it in that scenario.
Yeah, I don't recall there being much of a rush from the outside. And I think there probably should not have been. If I were Belichick in that situation, I'd be telling everybody earmuffs and, doing this kind of thing and telling people don't jump off sides no matter what. That's a first down. You'll give them 2 more shots at the end zone. They have a timeout. That would be horrible. So let them kick the field goal. They're going to kick it anyway. It's almost a sure thing to get this game to overtime. It's what we want. So don't attempt to rush off the outside. So Cundiff should not really have been much threatened on this kick. It was just a matter of get it up high enough to get it through.
Yes, and it had plenty of height. Of course, it also had plenty of wrong way. I don't know how he processed that, but...
Need weekend plans? Check out what's happening in your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's gives you and your family the opportunity to make us your weekend destination. Stop by for free workshops, events, and activities for everyone to enjoy. We're getting active with fun local events like our upcoming Lowe's Bucket Ball Challenge and Kids Workshop. Visit Lowe's.com/events for our full event lineup. Count on Lowe's for all of your home improvement needs. And now, activities in your community with Weekending at Lowe's.
Pros know a thing or two about how to get the toughest messes clean. That's why they've long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab for their businesses. And now, that level of clean is available for your home at the Home Depot. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of pro-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs. So you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Did you know that yearly Medicaid renewals will start again soon? This means millions of people who were enrolled in Medicaid during the pandemic may no longer be eligible for coverage. If this may impact you, the good news is you have options. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help answer your questions so you can find an affordable health plan for you and your family. We want you to feel confident you're covered. Click to learn more. Policy exclusions and limitations apply. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Community Insurance Company.
Certainly, it's a kick we would expect him to make. And checking on his stats, I don't see that he missed one from that range in the last, I think it was the year prior, or even maybe, yeah, that's right. So checking it, no, he missed one the year prior from being 35-yard range, and then he had 2 in that season that were also there. But if it's under 30, he was gold.
Yeah, well, his career had a lot of misses from short range. He was 57 of 75 from 30 to 39. That is terrible, folks. I don't know if that should have figured into the whole thing or not, but let's see. In his years with Baltimore, he was pretty damn good. He went in 2010. He was 8 of 9 from that range. In 2011, he was 10 of 12 from that range. Honestly, that's not that good. It's really not that good.
It's not good enough. And dare I even say, I don't want you to, but one of the decisions earlier in the game was going for it, I think on 4th and 6 from about a 50-yard distance, where he was 1 of 6 that season. And that had to have played a factor.
Yeah, that was certainly the right call. You also I wouldn't want to have put Tom Brady in a position where he was able to drive for the win and the clock running out at the same time. That's just a bad situation. You're better off almost trailing at that moment and forcing Brady to play 3-down conservative football and work with a conservative play call. The balance of strategies just in the NFL favor the trailing team. That's just the facts of life. So, yeah. So anyway, the kick went wide left. I remember it looking really ugly and sideways off his foot. Did you rewatch it at all? I couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah.
Yes, it was awkward. And it was nothing like, I'm going to really give a shout out to the Ohio State people on this, the Noah Ruggles kick from not about a month ago. Nothing like that. But yeah, it was definitely awkward.
Yeah. Other memories that obviously we saw Terrell Suggs react to it on the sideline. Other things you picked up on the moment.
I think befuddlement is the right word for this one. And whoever 24 was on the Patriots was the first one to react like the Patriots just got the game. I remember that. Hands in the air.
Like they're going to the Super Bowl, except they actually are going to the Super Bowl because of it. That's Kyle Arrington.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a couple things I remember about that. We were at the game, and the first thing is, from our vantage point, we were right at midfield. To our right was both the kick, of course, and Lee Evans' drop. And first of all, in the Lee Evans play, I thought he caught the ball. I was like, "We're going to the Super Bowl," and I was, hugging Maureen and everything. We were really excited about it. And she goes, "No, he dropped it." And so she wrote me down for that. So that was bad. So we were celebrating around it. But the rest of the crowd was around us was death knell. They didn't pick up right away either, or they were, not sanguine about the current situation being what it was, still only leading by 3 and the Ravens having another chance to throw for the end zone. But for whatever reason, I was fooled at that moment and really had an extra yanking of the Super Bowl rug from under my feet from that particular play.
It hurts even more because you were there.
Yeah. Well, that's nature. So anyway, the Cundiff miss, I couldn't believe it. I just, you're in enemy territory. Everybody else is screaming and happy. You just want to get out of your row and get the frick out of Dodge. And
sure.
it's not a comfortable feeling with just everybody seems to be in your way at a moment like that. I don't know if you feel that way when your team is lost and you have to get out of the stadium and everybody else wants to stay and be happy and you want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and then it's worse if you have the middle seat versus the aisle, and you're done. Yeah, you're stuck between all the whatever's out there at that point.
Yeah, really, really want that middle seat during the game. I don't like people getting up in front of me. It's an interesting thing, but I'm definitely a middle of the aisle seat guy. I actively seek it. I know there aren't a lot of people who do it, but I'll always take middle of the row over either aisle because you're up, you get blocked. There's all kinds of bad things happen on the aisle.
I like the vantage point. I got to give it to you on that one.
All right. Any other memories from that day or what it did? Did it throw you into a multi-day funk? What other things were going on that from the miss itself?
Not really. I would just say it's more of like we got to watch the Patriots again. Yeah. Really. We got to go through all this. And I'm sure there's people out nowadays that feel like it's doing the same thing for maybe watching the Chiefs play. I don't know if it's a thing, but it probably holds some similarity.
If the Ravens had gone to Kansas City to lose the AFC Championship, actually they were going to go there in the divisional round.
They would have been, yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been you got to toss that on there because that's more than the icing. It's more than the cherry. It's pretty much the entire cake is that the Ravens are out also at that point. So. The only good thing that I see that came out of this, and there's a whole lot of philosophical talk from Harbaugh between one season and next, or the days are long but the years are short, kind of stuff. Like you can take that and put that somewhere else. What I really thought was the one good thing that came out of it was Cundiff was done as soon as he missed that kick. You don't recover from a kick like that.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew right away he was not coming back, and of course that led to the Justin Tucker entry the next year, which was obviously has been something very special.
And that's been my one big argument, like for the Ravens or anybody that wants to ask about Justin Tucker. I 100% believe he is a Raven because of that kick. And something to back me up on that is I believe it was Jerry Rosberg or it was Tucker's agent that said this. Tucker made the winning kick against A&M in that rivalry game the year before in 2011. And that's a kick that Tucker makes clutch regularly and whatever that is. And either of the two, probably his agent said 100% Justin Tucker doesn't miss that kick in the AFC Championship. If Justin Tucker's a Raven, these guys are Super Bowl bound.
Well, I think that's probably true. And Justin's record from inside 40 is absolutely unbelievable for his career. But from 30 to 39 yards, he's 106 of 109 career. 20 to 29, he's 96 of 96. So Yeah, even in the 40s, Justin Tucker is a mere 104 of 116 at that distance, which is frankly incredible in its own right. But here's the question I would pose to you as a Ravens fan: was it worth not going to that Super Bowl, because they wouldn't necessarily have won it, but was it worth not going to that Super Bowl in order to have Justin Tucker be a Raven?
I'll tell you yes, and every damn day since.
Okay,
you need more chances. It's not a window of opportunity. It's how many times can we get that opportunity in and of itself? And I think Tucker has put them there more often than not.
Tucker certainly has given them chances. He's had very big kicks from the Ravens over the years, and it is a little unfortunate that the Ravens haven't put him in even a better position to make more big playoff kicks for them. But it's unfortunate. At least I think most of the people, and probably you'd have to include me on this side, would say rather have the trip to the Super Bowl than Justin Tucker's entire career.
You would have bought the ticket.
Yeah, sure I would have. Yeah, it's certainly a close call. And let's see, who did the Patriots end up going on and playing in 2012? I have a hard time even remembering who that was.
I'll just say the Giants, and I'm wrong.
That was 2011. Yeah. So
I got the wrong years.
Maybe the Seahawks. Was that the Seahawks year?
The Seahawks, I think.
And then they choked it.
The year after? No, that was the Seahawks.
I think it might have been the one where they threw it away at the Marshawn Lynch game on the goal line. So let's see, who did they play in the postseason? Yeah, the conference championship. They don't have the Super Bowl in here for some reason. Oh, whatever. All right. So anyway, Ed, really appreciate you coming on and talking about this. It's just one of these moments, but an interesting question, I think, for Ravens fans to consider. You really are a throw it all away for now guy if you would trade Tucker for one additional Super Bowl opportunity. I think it's close, but to me, it's a pretty clear decision that I'd rather have the one additional Super Bowl, and we'll take our chances on whatever kicker we get.
Maybe hindsight's 2020 on it, because they did make the Super Bowl not long after.
Because the Ravens did, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Outstanding. Ed, thanks so much for coming on. Vengeance, at Vengeance on Twitter. Other folks out there, if you'd like to be on a That One Play episode, please hit me up with a DM on Twitter. I'd love to talk to you about it. Just what the play meant to you. I'll certainly have some things to say from a historic perspective and possibly from a personal, like in this game as well. But I'd love to talk to you about it and hear from you soon. Ed, thanks again for coming on.
I appreciate you and appreciate everybody else. Thanks for listening.
And we'll talk to you next time on Film Study.
Pros know a thing or two about how to get the toughest messes clean. That's why they've long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab for their businesses. And now, that level of clean is available for your home at the Home Depot. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of pro-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs. So you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Welcome to BreezeLine, where the sky's the limit thanks to better internet. With lightning-fast speeds up to 1 gig, you can game like a boss, stream like a pro, and watch like there's no tomorrow. Stream, watch, post, send, and trend. Do it all with our fiber-powered network, bringing you reliable, fast internet. Welcome to BreezeLine. Visit breezeline.com for latest offers. Service subject to availability. New customers in select areas only. Visit breezeline.com for details.